What is up, guys? Welcome to the Computer Information Highway for your Java programming tutorial number 17. Yeah. Alright, so in this one we are going to be hopefully finishing up, depending on if we have the time or not, we're hopefully going to be finishing up this program. And in here I'm going to be, we're just going to make this, we're just going to make it to where, like, it'll eventually calculate it. So, first of all, I'm going to start off with, I figured out from the last video why it was telling me this was redundant, and I wasn't really paying too much attention to it because I wanted you to see the value of the if statement and how you can use an if statement inside of this function right here, the answer, so that we can perform any amount of code inside of the text. However, now that you guys have seen this and you actually know the power of return, we can make this really, really simple. So rather than going through this if statement and checking to see if it's true, and if it's not, it's going to return false, what we can do is, since this right here, since this operator right here, this equals, it checks to see if this and this are the same. That means every time this little bit of code is run, it's going to return either true or false. It will return either true or false. So you don't need to check to see if it's going to return true or false. You don't need it to return true after you have already discovered that it's going to be true. You can go straight to the end and you can do return sup answer equals 42 equals 42. Really simple, since this is either going to return true or false, because this is asking the question, is this the same as this? So that's going to make that a little bit easier. That also took away that little warning message. It was just sort of like a helpful hint. But now that we know a little bit more about that, we can go ahead and reduce this down to a fairly simple program, or a fairly simple function. So we're going to just minimize that because we don't really need to mess with it anymore. We're really only going to be working with these two from here on out. So also, before we set up our minimum and our maximum value for the random that we created, and it produces a number between these two values. So what we need to do is, if this number is, so if the number that we generated is the number that we need, great, it's going to print out yes. What happens if it's not? How do we make this program continue until it has finished, until it has reached the answer to life, the universe, and everything? So what I'm going to do is we're going to use a while loop that we used before, and to do that, what we're going to do in order to make it repeat is we're going to do, so I don't remember if I showed you while versus do while. So I'm going to show you do while, because I know I've showed you while. So I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this, and we're going to do while, and for now we're just going to set it equal to true. I'll show you in a second, or I'm going to do more with it here in a second. So this is going to go here. Do while basically means this is going to run first. It's always going to run at least one time, because it's not checking this at the beginning, it's checking it at the end. So this is always going to run at least one time. It's going to go through here, and it's going to go all through this code, and while this is true, which it is, because true is always going to be true, that's how that works in there, it's just going to repeat over and over again. So rather than just having this go over and over again, even if it returns yes, it's just going to continue going. We want to make it to where it stops whenever it comes across yes. We have found the number. Congratulations. We have discovered the answer to life, the universe, and everything. But we need to stop now because there's no reason to continue. So we're using this do while to check it. It's going to go through once. It's going to generate this new number, and for the sake of showing you guys, we're going to call boolean answer equals the answer of get, new number. Alright, so the reason I created this is so that we can keep track of this right here. So since that is the case, we're going to go ahead and set this to answer, because that would be redundant. Otherwise we would have duplicate code there, and it's just unnecessary. So now what it's going to do is it's just going to store this value right here, and we're going to have this also in here. So symbol variable answer blah blah blah. Okay. Answer equals false. Alright, and now we can take out this boolean. Alright, so basically what that was complaining about, and actually this is a great time to bring up this point. So whenever you have brackets basically define the scope of what it's going to be doing. So if you create an integer new number inside of this, so we created this integer new number inside of this bracket, you'll see that if I try to come outside of this bracket and use new number, it's going to tell me that it's not working, because it cannot find the symbol, it cannot find this variable new number anymore, because it's no longer within the scope of its creation. And this is really useful. It doesn't seem like it at first, but this prevents this new number from taking up memory throughout the entire duration of the program. And this is really, really useful in the future. So it's good programming habit to not put any to not put variables too far outside of the scope, because then it can be used or manipulated in other ways that it shouldn't be able to. And it also saves a bunch of memory. But we'll get more about that whenever we talk about some objects, but that's a little bit down the road, so no worries about that for now. So we're going to take that out because we're not trying to break this program. So this is going to be answer. So you're probably wondering, alright, so if it found the number, it's going to return true, right? And if that's yes, why would we want that to continue? That's only going to run at most once, or at least once. So, well, maybe. It just depends on how many times it generates a number. So we actually don't want it to be answer. We want it to be the opposite of answer. So we want it to be if it is false. So we want this to be while answer is false. So if answer is true, we want the opposite of it. We're going to put the exclamation mark in front of it. So while it is not the answer, so while it is not true, it's going to continue this code. Whenever this code is true, it's not going to, so this is going to be true, it's not going to be false anymore. So there's no reason for it to complete it again. So it's going to go through over and over again, and it's going to do it until we find the answer. So let's test this. Let's hit F6, and if you see at the bottom, I'm going to scroll to the top. It's starting. What is the answer to life, the universe, and everything? Is it 72? No. Is it 28? No. Is it 7? No. It continues over and over and over again until it gets to a number that is the answer to life, the universe, and everything, and it is 42. So we have found the answer. We have found the answer to life, the universe, and everything. It printed it out like we said it was going to do. It printed out yes because it was true. And it broke. It stopped executing this code after it got to the end. After it hit yes, and after the answer was found, it no longer needs to complete this code. So we are pretty much done with our program. I'm going to expand that out, and I'm going to let you guys take a look at this real quick. And in the next video, I'm actually going to go through and I'm going to show you some debugging tools that you can use in order to keep track of your program. And we're going to use this program as our example. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.